one of the things that I pressed upon the attendees is to be bold, to be brave, and to be unapologetic as long as you're speaking about things to improve the diversity and to improve the quality of healthcare in America, not just for people of African descent, but for everyone. We developed the Cobb Scholars Program to entice individuals who were 15 years or less postgraduate, either DO, MD, or PhD, to get access to a wealth of mentoring programs and webinars and access to some of the senior scholars so that they could mold their career in a way that maximized their ability to get into research programs and get funding. And so as the students come in and we're trying to get them involved, we connect them with this Association of Academic Minority Physicians that is one of the elite academic presentation platforms. We ask them to apply as they're doing their research to present at their October meeting. The mentorship side of the Cobb Scholars Program is really connecting those students and young career physicians with practitioners and programs that further their career goals.
Welcome our listeners to another episode of Cobb Company, the podcast of the Montague Cobb Health Institute. And it's my great pleasure to welcome to the podcast today Dr. Winston Price.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Price is a board-certified pediatrician and a past president of the National Medical Association. He received his training at the Weill Cornell Medical College and completed his residency at the New York Hospital Sloan Kettering Medical Center. He's currently an associate professor at the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine and an assistant clinical professor at the Medical College of Georgia in the pediatrics department. Dr. Price also practices clinical pediatrics serving a Southwest population in Georgia with a focus on preventive care and health disparities. Dr. Price also serves as the chair of the Southwest Georgia Area Health Education Center, which focuses its mission on recruiting, training, and retaining a robust and highly qualified health workforce for 38 counties in Southwest Georgia. Here at the W. Montague Cobb NMA Health Institute, he serves as Chief Technology and Information Officer, and he's also part of the leadership team for the Cobb Scholars Program, which we'll be discussing today. So that's quite the resume.
Thank you.
How do you find time for all of that?
I don't know. It's a 28-hour day, so.
So first of all, could you tell us about your role at the Cobb Institute, where you serve as Chief Technology and Information Officer?
Yeah, so that's an honor. I participated with the Cobb Institute since its inception in 2004 alongside Dr. Randall Morgan, who's been sensational as our president and CEO. And in that role as Chief Technology and Information Officer, we wanted to make sure that we had a platform to get our information out to the constituency that we felt needed to hear the information, but also to make sure we had the resources internally to develop an infrastructure of information to share with our Cobb Scholars and to share with our board members at the Cobb Institute.
So perhaps you could share with our listeners maybe, the origin story of Cobb Scholars, how it came about, and then really what the program comprises of.
Yeah, so the Cobb Scholars Program is one of the pillars of focus for the Montague Cobb Institute. That is to make sure that we had a platform to engage individuals into clinical research and to participatory community-based research. Despite the amount of research that goes on throughout the United States and the amount of funding at the NIH in the hundreds of millions of dollars, less than 5% of that funding goes to a diverse population of researchers. And so one of the focuses of the Montague Cobb Institute was to address that disparity and to make sure in the realm of our great individual, W. Montague Cobb, that we had a way to make sure individuals interested in research had a way of learning the ropes about getting the higher reimbursement research opportunities, the R1, as you will, at the NIH, but also help them in their career development, mentoring, and making sure that there was a way for them to connect with the seasoned researchers and institutions. So that part of the Montague Cobb Institute was the primary focus during our early development. And we developed the Cobb Scholars Program to entice individuals who were 15 years or less, postgraduate, either DO, MD, or PhD, to get access to a wealth of mentoring programs and webinars and access to some of the senior scholars so that they could mold their career in a way that maximized their ability to get into research programs and get funding. We also expanded that program in the more recent years to have a pre-Cobb Scholars Program. And so we're reaching back in our pathway efforts to make sure we have individuals who are in high school and in college and pre-med students to get some of the robust information sharing that we have available.
And at this stage, about how many Cobb Scholars would be part of the alumni that have participated in the program?
Right. So we have about 3 cohorts right now from the time that we started the Cobb Scholars Program. And there's several levels of involvement. So we require them to get involved in different programs that we have in partnerships. So we're probably at about 150 Cobb Scholars right now. But when you look at the universe of individuals who are at some point in being identified as Cobb Scholars, we're probably at about 400 to 500 individuals. And the reason I say that is a person can express an interest in being a Cobb Scholar. Depending on which program we're plugging them into, they've got to submit their CV. They've got to have an interview done. We ask for letters of recommendation. We then try to work with them in terms of what their area of research focus is so that we can plug them into a mentor. And so they're at different levels of completion of their official Cobb Scholars designation. And based on that, some individuals are plugged into some of our unique opportunities with the International Myeloma Foundation, with the Morehouse Research Program. We have relationships with some of the Knowledge RX, KnowRx, which is a way of identifying research opportunities. And then also with the orthopedic program with the Gladden Foundation, there are a number of research opportunities. And so we plug the students as we identify them and some of the young research individuals who are post-grad. We try to plug them into those pipeline and pathway programs that we think are unique to their ability and what their career desire is. Yeah.
So you're plugging students into those programs, into the pathway programs, the pipeline programs, but you're also connecting them with resources.
Absolutely. And since 2017, as one of the partner organizations with the NIH All of Us Research Program, the interest in that particular program as more individuals enrolled as participants in the All of Us Research Program, there's a wealth of data in the Vanderbilt data warehouse. And so the interest at that point was to connect those Cobb Scholars and those researchers who were young career, less than 15 years out of graduate school, to connect them with the All of Us researcher workbench so that they could do the research and begin to produce more articles and research opportunities. And so we were working very diligently to connect those individuals through that, using technology on our website, doing blasts to those individuals, also holding webinars, coordinating with the All of Us Researcher Program to hold sessions where the experts at NIH would do training webinars to explain to these Cobb scholars how to use the workbench data and how to produce, material that was worthy of a publication article.
Could you talk a little bit more about the Vanderbilt Data Warehouse? Is that a collection of data particularly pertaining to health disparities?
It's a wealth of information that is part of the All of Us research program, which started in 2017 to try to engage 1 million or more individuals in the United States to share their health information, either through answering surveys or having some of their bio data being collected, or even having wearables where information was going to be collected by Fitbits and the like. And more recently, also the collection of genetic information. They're up to 860,000 plus individuals that come from a very diverse background, unlike what research demographics look like in the past. And so all of that data that is collected is de-identified and stored at the Vanderbilt Data Warehouse that is available through the NIH Workbench to researchers.
So is it kind of like a registry?
A registry is a euphemistic way, but it's more complex because of the importance of integrity of the data and to make sure that people feel confident that the information that they're sharing on their personalized health information is de-identified and does not put them at risk.
So you have perhaps the most diverse collection of longitudinal health data connected to DNA as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Cobb scholars are able to access that to pursue research projects which tap into the availability of the data. And then you're also facilitating them getting research grants to support that.
Absolutely. One of the barriers to individuals who want to participate in research is being tied to an institution that has an agreement with NIH. What we have achieved in our partnership with NIH with the Montague Cobb Institute is we have a data use authorization with the NIH directly. And so an individual who may not be tied to an academic institution can still get access and researcher status to the workbench as a Cobb scholar. And so that gives them a tremendous up. Rather than sitting in the background, waiting and hoping that they could get access to this research, we're pushing the needle in terms of making sure that we reach out to individuals that we feel warrant the opportunity to do this research. And so that's part of increasing the diversity in research. Not only less than 10% of individuals of a diverse background participate in clinical research, less than 5% of the researchers doing those clinical trials are from the diverse background, particularly African American. And so this is a unique effort to improve that. The data that's in that data warehouse that I mentioned, more than 39% of the participants are from diverse backgrounds who previously were not involved in clinical trials and clinical research. And so that's a tremendous up for the program.
So the All of Us initiative is living up to its name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Cobb Scholars really is such a targeted program because researching the existence of disparities, that's one. But then you have underrepresentation in terms of researchers from a diversity perspective.
That's correct.
Then you have an even greater disparity in terms of how receiving research funding.
That's right.
And you have a huge disparity in terms of academic positions reaching tenure.
That's correct. And that's major because until you begin to create the diversity at the academic institutions who have control of many of those R1 research grants, you're not going to have the recruitment of individuals from those diverse backgrounds. I was talking earlier with a student who's interested in getting a position, and doors keep closing in her face saying, well, you don't have enough experience. Or you can't get the experience if you don't get your foot in the door. And so what we're doing through the Montague Cobb Institute is putting our foot there to keep that door open, to get them into that early experience opportunity.
So you're really making sure that resumes are getting built out.
That's right. So that's correct.
People can go down the pathway.
That's right. And some of our programs are unique. The one with Morehouse is distinctly unique in that we give them interview skills. We give them the skills in presenting and doing poster presentations and making sure that they have the opportunity to succeed when they are vying for research opportunities and funding from NIH so that they can compete.
So Cobb Scholars is providing a platform, an infrastructure, technology structure, and connecting to resources. Could you talk a little bit about the mentorship side of Cobb Scholars and how that works?
Yeah, so the mentorship side of the Cobb Scholars Program is really connecting those students and young career physicians with practitioners and programs that further their career goals. Case in point, we have one student from the college where I'm on the faculty who I encouraged to apply for an International Myeloma Foundation scholarship. She received that. She's here at our National Medical Association convention here in New York, and she will be presenting her research as part of that scholars program. And so we continue to do that by connecting them with specialists in their field of interest, so they not only have avenues to get letters of recommendation, to visit centers where they think they want to work, but they're working in the space of their career goals with some of the brightest individuals in their area of interest. I have another mentee that I started when she was a medical student. She's now in her second year of a hematology oncology fellowship at Yale University, all because she was connected to the Montague Cobb Institute. And so all along the way, she was pointed in the direction of the right people to get her involved. And we were fortunate at the Montague Cobb Institute to have access to the emphasis, the wonderfulness. I mean, I'm running out of words to speak about Dr. Edith Mitchell. And Dr. Edith Mitchell in Philadelphia at Jefferson Medical College was well connected just in her own right with her expertise in the field of oncology. But she was on boards and advisory committees. She participated as part of the Moonshot initiative with the presidential White House initiative on cancer. And so I was connecting students and early career individuals with Dr. Mitchell. And Dr. Mitchell was pointing them in directions throughout the country of where they could apply for grants and programs and funding. Unique opportunity. And we're continuing to build on her legacy to make sure we don't lose momentum with regard to those opportunities for those students.
So the Cobb Institute is also working with the Association for Academic Minority Physicians as well. How does that work in terms of fellowship and mentoring?
Yeah, so that's one of our pillars in terms of creating the diversity. And so as the students come in and we're trying to get them involved, we try to connect them with the Association of Academic Minority Physicians. That is one of the elite academic presentation platforms. And we ask them to apply as they're doing their research to present at their October meeting. And it's almost like putting an individual through a gauntlet to say, if you can make it through the other side, then you're seasoned in your area of interest. And so we plug them in to webinars and mini conferences prior to them applying to have their abstract accepted by the AAMC, and also to have publications in their publication as well. That's a unique opportunity for individuals. And if they didn't come through the Montague Cobb Scholars Program, they might not have that same opportunity. It might take them an extra 5 years to make those connections.
Right.
And so we're drawing the students in, presenting them with mentors, and making sure they're trying to compete at the highest level early in their career. And the unique purpose of that is a lot of the young career professionals, as they're trying to ascend the ladder with regard to seniority and having the ability to stay at an institution and to publish, they wait too late during their career to start getting the research at the high level and also doing the presentations and the abstracts. And so we teach them early on to make all of those adjustments, to get their CV where it needs to be, to improve their interview skills, and to publish. And so by getting them involved with the AAMC, we make sure that they are at the cutting edge in terms of what they need to be competitive. And that's really, really important.
So this is really fulfilling the promise of being a physician scientist earlier.
That's right. And doing it before they even start medical school, because we know that the ability to get involved in research and to write and to get into a good medical school is critical to get people early. And we have one other unique aspect to our platform with a program called Innovate or NoRx. It's a unique effort to match research opportunities and funding with individuals so that they can be tied to clinical trials and programs that are offered to them. And so there's a unique partnership that Dr. Morgan was able to bring to the table for the W. Montague Cobb Institute.
So for listeners who are hearing all of this and thinking, wow, I really would like to be involved in this program. It sounds like a good fit for me, good opportunity for me. How many places are open right now?
Well, we have unlimited space. The limiting step for us is making sure we have the infrastructure within the W. Montague Cobb Institute to handle all of the individuals who are interested in this unique opportunity. And as the number of individuals who want to be part of our program expand, we need to make sure that we match that with the infrastructure. But right now, we're all comers.
Right now,
we're here for you.
You have capacity.
We have capacity,
okay.
Yes.
And so how can people find you?
Yeah, so they can go to the cobbinstitute.org website. There are several links there for the Cobb Scholars Program. They can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and simply express their interest. As we continue to expand our presence within the academic world, most institutions are aware of the W. Montague Cobb Institute, and we have a particular link with the All of Us research program. And so if they simply Google us, they will find access to the Cobb Institute.
So if they Google Cobb Scholars,
yes,
they will find you.
It should bring them to the cobbinstitute.org program. And they can also find the link from the National Medical Association website as well. And either through that and some of the Project Impact 2.0 initiatives, all of them will tie back to opportunities that we have at the Cobb Institute.
So what are some examples of that infrastructure?
When we first started, one of the focus at that time was to engage a very well-tuned group of experts. And those were our senior scholars. Those were our senior members who were the cream of the crop in terms of research in the field of health disparities. And we wanted to be able to engage them as individuals who shared their experience and their information to the individuals we wanted to become more researchers in a diverse population of researchers. And so we developed the website so that we could share their information, their bios, as well as have a mechanism to do podcasting, to also do e-blasts, to have a Facebook and an Instagram presence to make sure we could share our message. It doesn't help if you have lots of information, but no one is aware of what you're doing. And so that was one of the key focuses that we wanted to put in place. And as part of the Cobb Scholars Program, we wanted a unique way to have private information where we had a member benefit effort that we could share with them if they participated with us based on the guidelines that we had. And so we developed the website so that we had a member-only private segment of that website.
So that is the portal which is specifically for participants in the Cobb Scholars Program?
It's both. That serves as our coordinated effort to link the Montague Cobb Institute activities with that of the National Medical Association, which represents the concerns of more than 50,000 physicians across the United States of African descent. And so while we developed our own information base to share regarding research and research disparities, we wanted to be able to link to the National Medical Association platform. And then shortly after we got started, with the help of Dr. Cato Lorenzen in developing the Journal on Racial and Ethnic Health Disparities, we also have a mechanism on our website for people to access those articles, as well as to submit abstracts for publication.
And I think one of the benefits if you become a Cobb Scholar is that you have quite privileged access to what's going on in NMA. You get a membership of NMA, etc.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's correct. And they also have a unique access to any of the symposiums or online webinars. And of course, during the COVID time, they get prioritized access to all of those events.
So we're here in New York. We're at the NMA convention, and we've recorded so far, I think this is 7 sessions with various people. Mm-hmm. And some of the people who've been interviewed were actually taught by Montague Cobb.
Yes.
And it's just been amazing to hear the context, the historical context of what a trailblazer he was. Again, as a physician scientist.
Yes.
Can I ask what Dr. Cobb's legacy means to you?
Tremendous, and I am one of the fortunate individuals. I actually met and talked with Dr. Cobb. He is a larger-than-life individual, but the degree of his intellect is unparalleled by his humble nature. And so just having been in his presence and to talk with him and to get some guidance from him is immeasurable. But it's important for people to recognize one of the key things that Dr. Montague Cobb impressed upon people is making sure you document, that you do not accept things at face value. When you feel something is wrong, then you do the research and you then publish and document. And that was part of his legacy that stuck with me, that he did not accept when people were challenged during his time about fallacies about people of color. And he did the research, he published and documented the science, and he spoke from the science. And when you speak truth to power, that's a powerful thing to have. And so that's what we try to embody within the W. Montague Cobb Institute, is to make sure that every person that we touch, to get them involved in research, they understand the importance of moving based on the science and moving with integrity.
I think last night at the awards ceremony, the Cobb Institute awards ceremony, somebody said, the four great things about Montague Cobb were physician, scientist, educator, activist.
That's right.
And then I hear he also played violin.
That's right, he did.
and he was a historian. He was
Yes.
he could talk on any subject.
Oh my gosh. If you sat down with Dr. Cobb to ask him one question, thinking you were going to get 1 or 2 minutes, and then him saying, I'm too busy, I'm going somewhere else, you better be ready for an hour of discussion. Yeah, he was something else.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for finding time to talk with us. I know the convention's incredibly busy. And right now, you're headed off to the Cobb Symposium, correct?
Yes, that's going to be an exciting symposium as well. Yes.
What's a quick overview of the symposium this year?
Yeah, so the symposium this year is the second part of our discussion about the importance of diversity in research, diversity in the health workforce. We will have some incredible speakers coming to us, and Dr. Gary Butts from Mount Sinai will be moderating the session. But it's an important session for individuals to hear about their role in being like a Montague Cobb and being outspoken. One of the things that I did during our convention in Atlanta, we were able to pull off our unveiling of our historic marker at the church where we started as a National Medical Association. And one of the things that I pressed upon the attendees, it was well attended, is to be bold, to be brave, and to be unapologetic as long as you're speaking about things to improve the diversity and to improve the quality of healthcare in America, not just for people of African descent, but for everyone. And as we stood for Medicare and Medicaid, and we stand for things that will improve the health for everybody, that's the message that we want to bring. And W. Montague Cobb emboldens that kind of mantra, and we'll continue to push that forward.
Dr. Winston Price, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you.